So this is my Year 10 experience part 8, okay? Now in most of these, I've always exclaimed of how many of these there are. Not in this video. Like, oh my gosh, we've hit 7 of these videos in 2 months. How crazy is that? Right? Not in this video. Let's just get to it. So I'll start with English, okay? We had a mock not so long ago. It was about of mice and men and poetry analysis, right? The exam was 2 hours long, but I had a cold. And every 10 seconds, right, there's silence, and you hear a sniffle. Right, my facial expression was just crap the entire day. Right, and yes, the sun's coming in through my window. Right, and I was trying to get my body from mock to lesson to lesson. I think I did okay with the mice and men part. Right, but then with poetry analysis, not so well. Right, how it works is that there's 3 questions. You've got a 10-mark question. I'll stand forward. Right, so then the sun's not in my way. A 10-mark question based on an extract that the mock will give you. You've got a 20-mark question based on the whole novel that you've been reading / studying. And finally, for the 3rd question, it's poetry analysis, where you're given 2 completely different poems that you've never seen before. And you've got to compare and contrast, right? But yeah, I think I did good with the mice and men, but not so much with poetry analysis, right? I tried so hard to not have snot just running down my nose, because you needed to know that, right? And when they let everyone out, my ears went numb, my nose was flooded, and my eyes just looked rough and tired, right? I blew my nose, sorted myself out, and got ready to go to my next lesson, okay? That was one hell of a day. Anyways, next we are going to talk about, the results, okay? So, yeah, it was 50% of mice and men, and obviously the other half for poetry analysis, right? In the end of it, I ended up with a C. So I think I did okay, but I could have done better, right? Luckily, it's only a mock. We also had a Welsh mock as well. It was about Unit 3, which you do in Year 11. Even though in Year 10 now, I'm doing Unit 1, which is all speaking. But it's all about practice. And we also had a science test today, right? I think I did good at that. And next, we're going to talk about Welsh back. Now, if you've been watching this series, you'll know that I and everyone else in my class hates Welsh back. For the last 3 lessons, right, we had supply teachers and it was heaven, right? We then had our actual teacher and we started, completely out of the blue, the real Welsh back test, right? Nobody knew, it was completely out of the blue and nobody wanted to do it. We had a pack and in it was like sources about refugees and we had to annotate it for factors of pestle and ruru. Although if you're in my school, chances are you're either doing it, done it, or about to do it, right? And finally, I'm going to talk about this workshop day that we had. It was last week, not so long ago, right? And it was all day, and it consisted of 6 different lessons by all these people that came in, right? A whole block of our school was cut off just for this, right? We went to form, and then we went to this block where we had all these lessons, right? We had our first lesson, and it was quite the introductory lesson. Just woke up, go to school, go to first lesson. I mean, and you're greeted with a massive banana with a condom on it on the screen. Just to be greeted by that, you're like, okay, I'm awake, right? It was run by these women, and I really can't remember what they talked about apart from STIs and where to go for condoms and contraception, right? Then, by the way, we'll talk about it in a minute, right? We then had a lovely demonstration of an old woman putting a condom on a red willy that was stuck to the table. You can see that from this clip here, okay? So thank you to Callum Perrin for recording that, okay? Right, and at the end we were given sperm keyrings. Here we go, you can see it there, right? And everyone had one and took the mic. And then we had a lesson on relationships, right? It was quite boring. It was just going back and forth the sides of the room that represented yes and no for questions. So over here is no, over there is yes, and in the middle would be maybe, right? And then the people would ask you about relationships, right? So then we had a lesson about child trafficking. That was really boring. All we did for the lesson was just watch a clip and then talk about it. Then we had break, and I had another lesson that I've completely forgotten about because it was boring, followed by a lesson talking about how to report crime anonymously. Again, that was really boring, until it was lunch. I went to ICT club, and after ICT we had our final lesson all about drugs, because every pupil is not bored and sick of hearing about drugs, right? We had to list a lot of them, do a quiz and talk about them, and then that was it, right? Now, we did each class in our forms and not in our actual sets. And can I just say, right, no offence to the people in my form, right? Most of the people in my form are quite annoying. Like, I'm sure I am as well, right? I'm sure I am. But, like, most of them acted like they knew about all the topics and were experts, right? Up to the point where one of the visitors, they asked if they wanted to take over. But anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Don't forget to drink hot chocolate, and goodbye. So, shout out to Ryland, Lewis Price, and these YouTube channels.